World Smith of Chicago, Illinois, nonprofit home video and artworks creations. In this particular video, we will be looking at the moon of Titan connected to Saturn and its relationship to an ancient three fingers and one thumb gray extraterrestrial Elohim of the Jerusalem Temple Mount. It was discovered in the home of an Egyptologist located in Jerusalem. As we look at this famous extraterrestrial, he has thick lips. That means he can be connected to the black African Hamitic steppe pyramid civilizations located around and near Iraq, in Iraq. Now, that entered into ancient Egypt according to the book of Psalms, 105th chapter and 23rd verse, where the 12 sons of Jacob entered into ancient Egypt, bringing their Babylonian style pyramid cube cross image of Nibiru with them. Remember, upon the dome of the rock outer wall, stone rectangular window frames, we see a Babylonian style pyramid in the east section. It's being flanked within the stone rectangular window frame by a 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares that can be seen in the upper left and right hand corners and lower left and right hand corners. When we fly to Lalibela in Ethiopia, we see a solid cross-shaped building structure that was carved out of solid bedrock. In the area that was left, it formed a square. The square is so deep that when you jump down in it, once you reach the bottom and look up, you're looking up from the book of Revelation, returning cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem. Now, it's only when we connect the aerial view cross-shaped building structure in modern Lalibela base, we see the Babylonian style pyramids as 1, 2, 3 group in the pyramid squares. Now, this connects the biblical North African Chaldean lion sphinx of ancient Giza, Gaza, Palestine, Ethiopia, and Jerusalem to Ethiopia's cross-shaped building structure image of Nibiru. That's a black cube in which the National Space Administration Soho satellite imagery filmed orbiting around our sun, our present sun. Now, Nibiru is depicted upon the Babylonian temple walls as a 6-point star that has a circle that's surrounded by smaller circles and larger circles representing planets. Now, Nibiru is also depicted as a cross. This is where we see a 339 alien with 3 fingers and 1 thumb stepping on the head of the 1947 6-finger Roswell, New Mexico alien that looked like a naked white man with a bulging belly, no sex organs, and no hair. Now, this is the connection to Enlil upon the Babylonian temple walls, where we see the 339 cross image of Lalibela connected to the Temple Mount outer wall stone rectangular window frames. This is where we reconnect the alien that was discovered in an Egyptologist home in Jerusalem. It's a stone, part of a stone that was probably carved out of a wall in Egypt, ancient Egypt. But this particular stone shows an alien with big black oval-shaped eyes and look like he's wearing a royal Egyptian headdress. Now, there's a UFO image on this alien carving, and there's hieroglyphics, and there's an ancient alien language in the headdress area. So when we go back to Lalibela, we see that the ceiling has circles carved in it, a stone representing the biblical world within the world like UFOs, in which prophet Ezekiel saw. Now, when we look at the outer post within the interior cross-shaped building structure in Ethiopia, in Lalibela, we see that the ceiling post holding up the ceiling has a stone triangle that can be connected to Common Ison's Chinese satellite image Pyramid 7 form as it moved throughout the black outer region of space. It is seen in this high resolution image as a huge pyramid comet shaped like a pyramid that's surrounded by a ball of the holy hydrogen light creation. Now, in that ball, we see the pyramid and we see 2 huge circular UFOs orbiting around the pyramid. These huge circular UFOs can be connected to the interior ceiling area of the cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, where we see a huge circular UFO. Now, these circular UFOs are very important because it connects the biblical world within the world that landed upon Mount Sinai to three fingers and one thumb great extraterrestrial guardians of our entire solar system that actually transported Prophet Muhammad and Prophet Jesus above the Jerusalem Temple Mount area up into the atmospheric regions and beyond that into the outer regions of space. Now when we talk about the cube of Saturn connected to this three fingers and one thumb great extraterrestrial guardian of our entire solar system, we see that Saturn has a moon called Titan. And Titan images, up close images, reveal African continent image on the moon referred to as Titan. Now this African continent image, it has in the center of the African continent image on Titan, we see a 0, 2. Okay. Now, when we try to compare it to the African continent as seen back here on the area viewed Earth, I found a 0-1 area. So upon Titan's moon, we see the African continent images, and the 0-2 area is the center of the African continent image on Titan, the moon of Titan, the moon of Saturn, called Titan. Now, when we look at the African continent, 0-1 section, we see the same image. As you say, so when we identify the 0-1 image in the center of the African continent, well, see, the Giza pyramids is the center of the globe Earth. So that means then that we see Saturn cube in the North Pole area as a representation of the cube structure in New Jerusalem. But it's rotating around and around this cube in a hypercube form away. Now this hypercube is connected to the Giza pyramids. And you'll see it in my video, where the wall lines of the cube becomes a 45 and 32 degree air shaft in the Giza pyramid, and the bottom line of the cube becomes the 26 degree grand gallery stairway up into the pyramid of Khufu. So when we go back to the cube in Saturn, North Pole area, we see it being connected to the book of Revelation 21:18, returning cubic dimensions of New Jerusalem.